If you would have asked me 10 years ago about riding around the world on a motorcycle, I would have laughed at you. Yet here I am. I have sold everything I own, and this is my story. Hey everyone. Today I'm going to head over to the family home of Pablo Escobar. It's kind of controversial here in Medellin, like any bad reputation any country in the world has. They don't really want to talk about it. They want to bury it. But the curious tourist in me has won, and I'm gonna walk up there. It's not too far from where I'm staying. And I did have somebody say to me that my money would be better spent giving it to the victims of Pablo Escobar, and yeah, that really hit me hard in the heart too. But I think it's still part of Colombia's history, and I'm gonna go check it out. Magic word? No, Escobar?
Maybe. Just try it again.
Escobar.
Oh my God.
Ah! And we're going into the main house through a secret door.
This room was used only to hide money, but mountains of money. This can imagine onto the ceiling. And only $100 bills.
$100 bills only.
$100 bills. That is the tunnel. Because all the Pablo's houses had tunnels. And
Tunnels.
were communicated. That was a way for Pablo to continue escaping all time because he had the wars and the dangers. The door used in the banks and the bunkers, okay? And you know, Pablo had a really need to protect his money and his life. Well, try open the door yourself.
Do you have to turn this first?
Let me know, what do you feel?
Oh my God, it's heavy.
It's heavy, too
Whoa.
heavy. Sure.
It's heavy.
Let's walk around this car, please.
Wow.
When he started his political career.
So this is when this happened when he was running for senator?
When he started to work in the Congress as senator.
Okay.
Pablo started working in Coca-Cola.
The Escobar family, mom and dad, Escobar, his brothers and sisters, and now his nephew Nicholas, who runs this museum.
Almost 2 years later, he was discovered. He could do it.
Wow, that's crazy. So this is some of the furniture that Escobar used to use to transport money. So you would take the back off it here. This is one of the dressers. I don't know if I can squeeze in back here, but yeah, in these empty parts, he would put all of his money. And there's another piece of furniture right here that he would slide back and just hide all the money. It's crazy.
Motorcycle, Lambretta,
See?
and all time finds it in two colors. What do you think about the two colors? What could be the reason?
I don't know.
Well, you know that Pablo was a really, really smart person.
Yeah?
To confuse the witness.
He what?
To confuse the witness.
Oh my goodness.
If we were in the same street, but you were in that side,
Oh,
and
yes.
me in this side.
To confuse the witnesses.
Well, the
Amazing.
motorcycle path between us.
Ah.
That Pablo was a really good racer. That is Pablo, okay, in the tour. When he started, he used this car, and later he used another kinds, models of cars going in other positions, okay? Until he won the Porsche. And after learn how to drive it, he could be the winner. That is Pablo with his cousin Gustavo Gaviria. With his award.
And that's with his mom up there?
Yes. This is his mama.
Amazing.
And do you know something about this car? It's part of the United States history. Pablo bought
Oh,
it.
Bonnie and Clyde's car.
Maybe.
He bought it?
To Al Capone. Belonged to Al Capone.
Oh, Al Capone. So I've currently lost my tour guide, and that's okay. He said to go ahead and check out Pablo Escobar's, well, I guess I would call it a sea-doo, but it looks like they call it a wet bike. That's how I used to get around, apparently, at the hacienda. I don't know. So this is a photo of the prison that Pablo Escobar built himself. We drove by it, but unfortunately the government has confiscated all these properties and refuses to use them, even to make money for the locals. They just want to erase the Escobar history from Colombia, although it's a huge part of Colombia. So when the states got word that Pablo was in prison in Colombia, they were super happy, asked the Colombian government to send a photo to them of Pablo behind bars. So all Pablo did was go behind a gate and take that photo there behind the gate, and as another fuck you to the States, he put on a Russian hat. Because at the time, States and Russia just definitely weren't getting along. So that's the story. I'm not sure if it was worth paying the money to do this tour. It was definitely interesting to see the other side, so to speak. For me, there's three sides of the story. Your side, the other side, and the truth. So somewhere in between there is the truth about Pablo Escobar. Just all the murals of Escobar. It's wild. Oh, there we go. Now I'm heading on a bus to tour some places that were important to the Escobar history. So this used to be...
Right here used to be the main entrance.
Really?
Principal.
Pablo Escobar's Monaco building that was torn down by the government, and this grass was the main entrance.
Politicians. You know, politicians.
Are these politicians that Pablo paid off? Wow. So over here, there, I don't know if you can see it. There's a white cardboard sign for something about pets, but what I understand, that is where the Cali cartel ended up putting a bomb with, I can't remember how much dynamite explosives they said, and blew a hole that was something like 800 meters. I don't know, it's crazy. On this wall here, I don't know if you can see them until you get up close. I don't know if you can still even see them. All the little holes. Whoops! Represent. Hola. Represent one of Pablo Escobar's victims. And it goes. I think there was something like 50,000 or more. And on the end of the wall here, the saying is, "We are those who everyone let down."
Yeah, everybody let down, and that used to be the Supreme Court judge.
Oh, wow.
Say that before he died.
Wow. This part of the wall shows the years that all the bombs are planted and all the places. Ah, and this one here in 1984 was in the American Embassy. Apparently when they were trying to extradite Pablo Escobar, but he had told them that he'd never committed a crime in the States. So I have to say this is a very interesting point of view on Escobar. The Avianca airplane, wow.
They tried to kill a politician, wasn't that flight, but he never took the flight.
Oh
But
my
the bomb
goodness.
was already placed.
So most of these dates are in 1989. And these bombs are from everywhere, from Bogota, Cali, they're banks, newspapers, airplanes, different businesses, drugstores that belong to the Cali cartel, politicians' places, police headquarters, and they seem to go into 1990. I'm not sure when the last one was. Another police headquarters in Medellin, I think that's how you say it. I hope you can hear me because these masks make it difficult. And we're into 91, 92, and 93. I can't remember yet when Pablo died or was killed. And this last one here, I don't know if you can read any of these. This one belonged to Pablo. That was April 1993, and I believe he was killed December 1993. So they weren't just bombs that Pablo built, they were bombs that the Cali cartel built, and who knows, possibly politicians?
That's a tribute for the police officers.
The police,
Down.
ah,
Well down. And that sculpture was made for with the bullet shells.
really?
They're melted and built that.
For all the police that died.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm just gonna go to take a photo. This house here, we're not getting out to look at it, but it's not very far from the Monaco park that we were just at. And Pablo Escobar had a tunnel that he had tunnels to all his different houses, and he used to, you'd never see him enter the building, but you could see him in a window. And that one there's got the guards still there. These are several of his houses.
Actualmente los túneles y todo eso están por ahí.
Los dos túneles están sellados, uno selló, el que compone y vino selló todo eso. Pero las casas siguen aquí en pie, abandonadas. Abandoned places, used to be Pablo's.
I don't know if you can see that little
Es
mansion
el Monte Casino Mansion.
up there.
Ahí donde torturaron.
When Pablo Escobar was on the run, his nephew that now owns a museum and runs everything right there in that building,
Sí, una mansión.
he was tortured by the police, even though he didn't have anything really to do with the drug dealing and stuff. That's the side of the story. He yeah, that's where he was tortured, trying to find out where Escobar was, and now it's restricted. Does anybody live there now? No, nobody. No, it's empty.
Confiscated from the government.
Ah, yeah.
Now from here we got a better view. You see by the electric tower?
Oh yeah.
You see a little under the tower like a
A flat spot?
like a dark spot, like a roof, black roof, a long one.
Yeah.
Right there.
So that's where the prison used to be that Escobar built.
Exactly. Pablo is prisoner there.
Wow.
No, from out there he can see the whole city, nice view.
You can see everything from there.
Or be money.
Yes.
Just playing right.
And this here is a graveyard that Pablo Escobar is buried in somewhere here. Gonna find it.
Oh, here's video.
Wow.
Pablo Escobar Gaviria. Born December 1st, 1949, then December 2nd, 1993. The day after his birthday. 44 years old. Prison.
And his whole family's buried here too.
Yeah. Luis Fernando was Pablo's younger brother. The guy died in that car accident.
Okay.
Teresa used to be the maid in the family.
Ah, yes.
So
Yeah.
they just took place over here because they consider her a part of the family. Pablo's mother.
Mother, yes.
Mrs. Gaviria. Pablo's aunt. The niece.
Wow.
This is Pablo was his driver. Limon.
Oh, is that the one that he was on the run with from the police?
Yeah. Juan Manuel used to be Pablo's uncle, the brother of his father, Abel de Jesus, Pablo's father.
And family comes and keeps these flowers all
over
fresh?
here, always, maybe the guys is in the lunch, but always the guys over here cleaning.
Really?
It's like plus neat. This is stone. Her kids,
Wow.
the first she killed.
This is Griselda Blanco, who was known as a Black Widow. Grew up in Medellin, but lived in Miami. And she was only killed in 2012. Known as a Black Widow because she killed 5 of her husbands. It's crazy. And that was my tour of Pablo Escobar's museum. It was really expensive. It was the most expensive thing I've done as far as a tour goes. I paid 35 American dollars for that. It did last almost 4 hours, but I think I may have said some stuff in the video about Escobar being an important part of Colombia's history. And I want to take back those words because the very next day, I went to the Memory Museum here in Medellin, and that one was free. And I learned more about Colombia's history from there because at the time of Escobar, of course, they had all these different guerrilla groups from FARC and the National Liberation Army and whatever other rebel groups there were, displacing the indigenous and the farmers, and that was an amazing museum. Unfortunately, I didn't get any photos really or videos because it was all digital. But I was in there for hours, reading old newspaper reports, learning so much more. But again, I just wanted to put this together and share it. I think there's still a lot of people here that love the Escobar name. And the family gives a more personal, personal information about him, which almost makes him seem human, even though, as far as I'm concerned, he was a monster for the amount of people that he killed and everything he did. So that's the end of this video. If you like this, please hit that subscribe button and we'll see you next time.